So it appears that Barack Obama is going to be the Democratic nominee for the presidential election later on this year. Um, I'm probably gonna vote for him. Um, I can't say I'm optimistic about the system though, and while Obama may bring change in comparison to 8 years of the Bush administration, he's not going to radically alter the course that global capitalism is pursuing. Um, and for that reason, it's basically a futile vote. I mean, I would much rather see somebody like Mike Gravel or even Kucinich, even Nader. I would much rather have these individuals' philosophies and policies in charge of our federal government. But it's just not realistic. So Obama is the better choice when McCain is the alternative, because 4 years of McCain is 4 more years of George Bush's neoconservative expansionism and military imperialism. Um, McCain is pretending like he wants to engage the problem of global warming and really get together with the rest of the world community on trying to figure out how we're not only going to keep this problem from getting worse, but deal with the problem we've already created, the inevitabilities of the CO2 that's already been released, that's already, at least as far as I think a general consensus of scientists can tell, uh, is going to occur in the next 50 to 100 years. Um, we have to start forcing, and I mean legislating um, changes in not only the emissions of our vehicles or the efficiency, the fuel efficiency, but we need to start getting our companies to invest and to help them invest even in alternative technologies, because they've been available. They've been available for 100 years, but they've been suppressed by the profit motive involved with oil. And the price of oil going up has only increased that motive. So we need not, we shouldn't think of it as government intervention. We should think of it as uh, human intervention in this obsession with money, with these abstract digits in our bank accounts that we can't even, possibly spend in our lifetimes. At least for people who strive to become billionaires. Um, Valuing that more than the sustainability of the next generation of not only human beings but any living organisms on the planet. Um, to sacrifice your actual health for an abstraction like profit or progress or, I don't know, technological advancement. I mean, yeah, we can make life better by using our heads and building technologies to ease our struggles, but just because we can make a technology to perform a task that we've always taken care of manually prior doesn't mean that the technological method is necessarily better. It could actually be a lot more destructive, and many times it is, and we shouldn't naively accept that technology equals better or that new equals better. We need to be a little more critical than that. But see, Obama, I don't think is really going to change any of these really deep-seated cultural views. He's a politician, and government is always way behind the spirit of the times and the way that the people are responding to the situation that the earth is actually in. Government is, you know, facing the wrong way, as far as the direction of history. Um, they're all conservative, even the liberals. But speaking of liberal, not only are the Republicans and the conservatives going to throw that label on Obama, they're going to throw Marxist on him. Actually, Tom DeLay, former House Republican leader, Tom DeLay, who's under investigation for money laundering. He has gone on a radio show the Mike Gallagher show earlier today, and he called Obama a Marxist, or he said, unless Obama proves me wrong, he is a Marxist. And later, Gallagher, the host, said Obama is desperately trying to cover up what seems to be the kind of old school Marxist, radical, liberal, failed ideology. And DeLay responded, absolutely, no doubt about it. Well, I didn't know you could string together that many almost, I mean, they're basically ad hominem attacks, because I don't even think DeLay or certainly Gallagher could give you an actual definition of Marxism, of the philosophy of Marxism, because they'd have to have read Hegel to do that, and I doubt it. They're basically using this word Marxism to invoke an image of the Soviet Union, and oppression of freedom and individuality and creativity, the forcing of manual labor upon people, and the sort of disdain for religion and even intellectual life, and it is oppressive, that image. But that's not Marxism in theory. That's Marxism as interpreted by a particular culture and at a particular time in their history. And so to throw the label of Marxist on Obama is to characterize his theory and his philosophy, not how that philosophy, how the philosophy of Karl Marx may have been employed by other people at other times in other places. So, I don't even think of calling somebody a Marxist as an insult, but because in the context in which DeLay is using it, and the people who are going to hear the Mike Gallagher show, it means something far more sinister than the actual philosophical theory implies. And it's a cheap shot by DeLay, and it's kind of funny because he doesn't know what it means. I mean, because if he did, he would recognize that it's obvious. But nobody in the mainstream political arena wants to criticize capitalism, and so that's why Marxism is kind of off limits, because we have to admit that capitalism is based on exploitation, and we're not willing to admit that. I mean, we're starting to be forced to face it, because we've destroyed the ecosystem, we've exploited it, and we've destroyed our society by commodifying everything, putting a value on every object and every service and every idea you could think of, and turned it into a product that's really based on an image created by an advertisement, and it has no real substance in itself. I mean, it's just, we just have this fetish for products, things we can buy and consume that make us feel like we're making progress, and like we are the pinnacle of evolution. And of course, this is what communism itself is supposed to be, at least as Marx described it. I mean, he felt that just the objective dynamics of the course of history would lead society eventually to adopt a system where there are no classes, and it is operated under the basic principle that the good of all is what's most important. And that doesn't sound so bad, does it? Certainly, as communism has been employed, it's been violent, almost as violent as capitalism. But the theory shouldn't be tossed out, and I don't take it as an insult. So if Obama has been influenced by Marxist theory, then more power to him. So yeah, go Obama, I guess. But there are deeper problems that he's not going to fix, and that we still have to work towards changing. So.